You'll see, yes, you'll see, there's room to grow.
It can be difficult breastfeeding in public. Embarrassed? Lacking confidence? Well, don't worry. Breastfeeding is a natural. You do it at home, so why not in public? Or is it really that easy? Well, here to talk about their experiences are Melanie and Louise and baby Ava. Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in. Now, you've both breastfed at different times with different stages of your babies. Well, Mel, have you ever had any problems breastfeeding in public?
No, not really in public. And when Ava was born, and initially in the first couple of weeks, I think it was more just learning when you're out and about, then, and it's a bit more stressful. I tended to go into seclusion.
In what way is it stressful?
I think just, the logistics of breasts and babies and positions and all of that sort of thing, exactly. And, it's hard at home. It's even more constraining when you're out and about.
So how did you get over?
I think once you feel much more comfortable, one as a mother, two with breastfeeding, once you could literally do it in your sleep, then it's fine. You can do it anywhere, anytime. It didn't worry me at all. So for that period, right up until when Ava started getting quite distracted, she's at about 8 months, then again, using quieter places was better, and also because she would latch off and leave you exposed in public as well was another reason. Those were the two times, sort of the bookends, when I was starting and when I was finishing breastfeeding.
Louise, have you ever had any problems breastfeeding in public?
Not when Alex was younger. When he was a little baby, I guess pretty much anything that stopped him crying. He was hungry, you need to feed him. It didn't really bother me too much where I was. Alex is 21 months now, and we're still breastfeeding, but he, because he's not a little baby, he doesn't need it straight away. And when we're out, he's usually distracted. He's not interested in that anyway. So that's really done behind closed doors. And
the breastfeeding now is done behind closed doors?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why would you not do that out in public?
It's not that I wouldn't do it in public. I think twice about it. I know that there's quite a public stigma about it.
About breastfeeding
an
older babies?
Baby, yeah. And he's 21 months, but he looks more like 3 years old. So I do expect that if I did in public that I would get some strange looks.
It's kind of bizarre because the World Health Organisation are very much pro breastfeeding your baby up to the age of 2 years. And yet you really, only see young babies in public?
Yeah, I think because it is done behind closed doors so much, just because it doesn't need to be done in public really, that the public doesn't see it, and therefore it becomes something that's abnormal. And we're coming off a culture where, in Victorian times, children were given to a wet nurse and it was all behind closed doors. You never saw anything like that. It's not that long ago, really.
So do you find people are a lot more accepting, apart from not seeing older babies, but for younger babies, breastfeeding public, the general population is
I was quite
accepting?
surprised.
Yeah, I can't say
For
anybody.
men and women?
Yeah, I think so.
Older, younger?
Men probably tended to move away and maybe not
consciously didn't make eye contact or boob contact with their eyes.
Don't look at the boobs.
So from what I'm getting from you ladies, that you haven't really had any major problems breastfeeding in public. No. Now, a few mums have actually mentioned to me that the same thing, that they haven't found it too much of a taboo breastfeeding in public, but they have felt a little bit uncomfortable feeding in front of their family, i.e. mums and dads, aunts and uncles, grandparents. Have any of you experienced that? I
suppose my parents' generation was very much the generation where you breastfed for the bare minimum, and that was what was accepted and expected and normal. And so I think my parents have been on a bit of a learning curve. And
you felt self-conscious feeding in front of them? Or?
Not so much when he was younger, but now I do a bit, now I'm pregnant, and I think my parents are a bit sort of taken aback by the fact that I'm still breastfeeding Alex and though I'm pregnant, because that was certainly nothing that they'd ever seen before.
Why are you still breastfeeding Alex at 21 months?
For a number of reasons. He's not ready to detach. I'm only working very part-time, and he's still very, very attached to the boob, and it's very good for their emotional development. And if he's having a bit of a meltdown, you put him on the breast and he's lovely and calm afterwards. But yeah, there's still all the benefits that he gets from breastfeeding are still there, regardless of whether or not I'm pregnant, and there's no danger to the fetus at all. So it was really a case of why not?
And Mel, what about you? What about with family? Have you ever felt like self-conscious?
I think perhaps, similar. I think because of our parents' generation, and they breastfed again, 3 months. It's more common than not that families feel more uncomfortable about it, and whether it's a change in seeing you as a mother as well. I think that's probably a big thing. You've been the daughter, no matter whether you've got married, no matter your career, it doesn't matter.
Isn't it?
That's a physical reminder to people. I have 3 brothers and of course my dad, so it's a very male dominated family, so having breasts out in that environment wasn't comfortable for me, and it certainly wasn't comfortable for them, so they would often sometimes sidle off or avert their eyes.
So if you see a mum out there breastfeeding, should you go up and say, good on you? Good on your sister sort of thing, or just...
I would have just walked by, because if somebody came up to me, I would have been shell-shocked if somebody came. I'm just doing what I'm doing.
Maybe I shouldn't do that.
Maybe just a quiet nod.
There might be. I think that with some women, I think that there's a sort of feeling of a bit of a club.
Bit
you
of
kind of
sisterhood.
know.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Louise and Mel and baby Ava, for joining us on the show and sharing your experiences in breastfeeding in public. It's been great. Breastfeeding in public is all about confidence. You need a plan. Wear an easy access breastfeeding top and bra and practice at home. Well, why not? When you're out and about with your baby, find somewhere comfortable. Don't be put off by dirty looks. It's their problem, not yours. There's nothing smutty about breastfeeding. It's natural and it's the best for your baby.
Then you'll see, yes, you'll see.